If you're a Houston fan, then this video is going to be hard to watch because this is the recap of the Houston Navy game, and it was bad if you're a Houston fan. I mean, that's just the honest truth. Navy is a tough team to prepare for. I mean, I'm going to start off with saying that any triple option team is tough to prepare for, but you have a week. I mean, you got to figure it out, and this is just my post-game analysis. Be sure to go check out my other ones from the previous week, Week 5. This is going to be my first one for Week 6, as this was kind of the first big game. There should be one over Texas A&M and Tennessee, and then any other big game that happens. Maybe the Miami-Florida State game, if that game gets down to the wire, should possibly be there. So, Greg Ward was decent. And, you can look at his stat line, and you can be like, but how is he decent? 17 for 94 on the ground for a touchdown, 32 for 50, 359, and 3 touchdowns through the air. But he had 2 interceptions through the air, and the team of Houston had 3 turnovers. They had 2 fumbles. They lost one of them. And Greg Ward is that team. And if Greg Ward did not have an off day. Greg Ward did make some bad decisions turnover-wise, but it wasn't like that cost them the game. Obviously, those had a factor in costing them the game, but what cost them the game was their defense. The defense has a week to prepare for a Navy team that is going to run the ball. They passed the ball 5 times. If they pass it and surprise you, then they surprised you, and congrats on them. But they don't trust their quarterback throwing the ball. They don't trust their receivers catching the ball. What they're going to do is they're going to pound the ball on the ground with a total of, as I quickly add them up in my head, 44, 54, 56, about 60 carries as a team, which is, exactly what they want to do. They want to come out. They got 306 rushing yards as a team combined. And only 75 passing yards. They were 3 for 5, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So when they did pass, they did surprise Houston. But if I'm Houston, sorry about that light. I just kind of realized it was a little bad. Here, I'll try to even out the lighting a little. If I'm Houston, I know what they're going to do. If they surprise me with throwing it, which they did twice with 2 touchdowns, then they surprise me, and congrats on them. You're not going to stop them from scoring all the time, okay? They have a talented offensive line. They run a lot of misdirection. They run a lot of option. It's tough to defend. I'm not going to deny that. But if you're a team like Houston, you have to beat every team big if you want a chance of making the playoffs. You beat Oklahoma. Congrats. You still have to beat Louisville. And you obviously had to beat every other team. And you had to beat them pretty convincingly because if you played a team close, like if you played a close game, people were going to start questioning you. And they played a close game, and they couldn't come out on top of this. The big thing, I think, in this game was a turnover differential. 3 for Houston and none for Navy. Navy kept the ball secure. They did fumble the ball twice, but did not lose any of them. Obviously, no interceptions since they rarely threw the ball. Their quarterback, Will Worth, 32 rushing attempts for 115 yards and a touchdown. There's a good amount of people that also had carries. Tonio Goli, I believe, 663. Deshaun Romine, 640. Sean White, not the snowboarder, but 10 for 38. Chris High, 225 and a touchdown. This was a dominating performance by Navy's offense. Their defense did get them a defensive touchdown on one of those interceptions. I don't know. That interception right now, that touchdown, because of that interception, ended up costing Houston the game. Also, another big thing here is special teams. The Navy team averaged 35 yards. My voice just cracked. 35 yards, a kick return, which is pretty important when you look at it because field position was a big factor. It's a big factor in most games, and it obviously played a factor in this game as Navy did not have to go as far as Houston did some of the times because when they punted, 3 for 148. I haven't quite done the math, but that's almost 50 yards a punt because 350, 150. So about 50 yards a punt. That's a great average as well. Houston didn't punt in this game. Their offense either scored a touchdown, turned it over on downs, turned it over. They did not punt the ball. And, I mean, that's okay. Bonner, 917 yards, no touchdown. Stephon Dunbar, 912, he had to have a touchdown. And then Chance Allen, 787 and a touchdown as well. Daryl Bonner, which I don't believe that the two Bonners are related. One was for Navy, one was for Houston. Daryl Bonner for Navy, 242 and a touchdown. And Brandon Cologne, 134 and a touchdown receiving through the air. Kicking, both teams were perfect on field goals, and I believe they weren't perfect on extra points. Houston missed that extra point. I'm remembering that now. So I don't think that ended up playing a big factor, because they would have been down by 5 instead of 6, and that still wouldn't have made it like a field goal game or anything. But I mean, it's still important. I believe Navy got a safety. I wasn't watching this game until Houston kind of had to try to battle back, and they just couldn't quite stop Navy at the end. That's basically when I turned it on, because I didn't think this game was going to be that close. I thought Houston was going to win. I thought it was going to be closer than most people think, because I think most triple option teams are going to make games closer than most people think, because they're just hard to defend, and that's that. But you cannot let up 46 points to a team that you know is going to come out and run the ball 60 times on you, which is exactly what they did, and they won. Great win by Navy. They stormed the field. They don't have school Tuesday. I saw that. The main guy. I'm blanking on what those guys are called, but he canceled school Tuesday because they were already out for Columbus Day Monday, but he canceled school Tuesday for this win. The first win since, I believe, 1984 over South Carolina against a top 10 ranked team in Navy, for Navy. So great win by Navy. If you're Houston, you're going to have hope there's a big shake-up, I guess, in the rest of the college football world in the next weeks, and you have to beat Louisville. And that's going to be tough. If your defense plays like they did to Navy, all Lamar Jackson has to do is run. Because I bet you money, Lamar Jackson is a better athlete than Will Worth. Sorry, Will Worth fans. Okay, he looks like he had a pretty good game. But Lamar Jackson's a better athlete. Lamar Jackson's faster. He's more elusive. He's going to be better, and Houston has to prepare for that. Now, sure, Louisville's not going to run the triple option. Excuse me. But Lamar Jackson is going to run the ball. We've seen him run the ball. He can run the ball insanely well. And if you don't figure out how to stop a quarterback run, then you're not going to be able to beat Louisville, and your playoff hopes are completely done. They're pretty much already done. You're just going to have to pray for some crazy stuff to happen in the world of football if you're a Houston fan or if you're Tom Herman and the Houston team. Great game, though. One of the best, not the best game, but one of the best games. Tennessee Texas A&M game is probably going to take that. But one of the best games of this week. That was basically my post-game analysis. Sorry, Houston fans. I don't know if you guys you guys thought there were 2 games that you were going to have to play hard in and then just kind of get through the rest. And maybe Navy caught you off guard, but either way, great win for Navy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to like this video. And be sure to comment your opinion down below in the comment section on this game or any game that you want to talk about this week, Week 6 in college football, and I will see you guys later.